Hello fans, welcome to Man Utd Transfer HQ. Stay updated with the latest transfer gossip and breaking news.
Our today news is Rio Ferdinand names 4 Man United stars who don't fit Ruben Amorim style, including £38 million man. 10-man Manchester United secured a hard-fought 3-2 win over Ipswich Town on Wednesday, but ex-Red Devils defender Rio Ferdinand highlighted several negatives after the game. Rio Ferdinand has identified 4 Manchester United first-team stars who aren't suited to Ruben Amorim's system. The Red Devils sealed a desperately needed 3-2 victory over Ipswich Town on Wednesday, despite being a man down for over half the game. It was their first win in 4 Premier League matches, and moved them up to 14th in the table. Nonetheless, it was another underwhelming performance, and one that demonstrated how slow progression has been under the new manager. After the game, United legend Ferdinand claimed that the squad, on the whole, wasn't dynamic enough to play the sort of football Amorim's former club Sporting CP were playing. He also highlighted 4 stars who, in his mind, lacked the physical and tactical attributes to make Amorim's system work. Joshua Zirkzee, Matthias, De Ligt, Harry, Maguire, Rasmus, Højlund, it's not their game, the former defender said on TNT Sports. I think Amorim, needs to find those type of players with the capabilities of carrying out not only tactically what he wants, but the physicality is equally important. He added, I watched Sporting a few times, in Europe especially. They were an athletic, dynamic team. That was one of the staples of that team, the hallmarks of that good team that was winning things. This team aren't a mobile, dynamic team. If you look through the heartbeat of this team, they have other qualities, but being physical, having the ability to overrun teams physically, they don't have that capacity. United have lost 9 times since Amorim replaced Erik ten Hag in November, and are now 14 points adrift of the top 4. The transition to a 3-4-2-1 system has been anything but smooth, with several players looking like square pegs in round holes, and tactical cohesion often non-existent. Changes are expected to be made to the squad in the summer, but with the looming threat of PSR sanctions, money might be too tight for a complete overhaul. Wingback Patrick Dorgu was the only major arrival in January, and further additions may hinge on how much money can be generated from player sales. Ipswich took the lead after just 4 minutes on Wednesday, with Jadon Philogene capitalizing on a miscommunication between Dorgu and Andre Onana and tapping into an empty net. United equalized thanks to a Sam Morsy own goal, and took the lead a few minutes later when £38 million summer signing De Ligt stabbed home from close range. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our second news is Ruben Amorim responds to claims Man United star is not ready for Premier League action. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim defended Patrick Dorgu after the young fullback was sent off against Ipswich Town after a dangerous challenge on Omari Hutchinson. Ruben Amorim remains adamant new signing Patrick Dorgu is good enough for the Premier League despite the Manchester United January signing being sent off against Ipswich Town. Dorgu was given his marching orders in the first half at Old Trafford. VAR intervened when the Denmark international made a studs-up challenge on Omari Hutchinson, leading Darren England to brandish a red card upon review. The former Bologna ace was also partly at fault for Ipswich's opening goal. The fullback's miscommunicated pass with goalkeeper Andre Onana saw Jadon Philogene pick up the ball to score an easy 4th-minute goal. Following the game, Amorim was asked whether Dorgu was at the required level to play in the Premier League. The Portuguese head coach had no doubts despite a difficult night for the 20-year-old. He's ready because he already proved that in the last game, said Amorim. Any player here can have a mistake like today from Patrick and the sending off, he wants to play the ball. Maybe he's a little bit harsh with the way he went for the ball. He's inexperienced, but he's clearly ready for the Premier League. People judge right away, so last week he was okay. Good performance against Everton, and today they will say that he's not experienced enough to play in the Premier League. But I don't feel that way. United defender Harry Maguire agreed with his boss. The England international believes Dorgu has offered a real boost to the Red Devils since his arrival in the transfer window. "Listen, Pat will learn from it," said Maguire. "He has been excellent. He has been a real bright spark in the last couple of games. He will learn from it, pick his head up, and I am sure he will go again and be a big player for this club." Amorim was happy with his side's efforts overall, however, as they secured a home win despite going down to 10 men. "Today I'm not frustrated," Amorim told TNT Sports, "with the situations of the game. Of course you get a little bit of frustrated with the game because we suffered a goal, one mistake, and that can happen. But since the first minute I felt that the players were fine, were trying to play. We managed to score 2 goals and then the sending off changed the game a little bit, but the fight that the guys showed, and our fans helped us a lot, so I think we fully deserved the 3 points today." Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our third news is Kieran McKenna's disrespect, true Ole Gunnar Solskjaer feelings, Cristiano Ronaldo red flag. Kieran McKenna returned to Old Trafford with Ipswich to face Man United on Wednesday as he suffered a narrow 3-2 loss, but it wasn't too long ago that he was part of the Red Devils coaching setup. Kieran McKenna and his Ipswich Town squad will be kicking themselves after a 3-2 loss to Manchester United at Old Trafford. The 38-year-old has been thriving in his first managerial role since leaving the Red Devils in 2021, but his Tractor Boys are now facing the grim possibility of relegation back into the Championship. Flashback to the start of the 2018-19 Premier League season, though, and McKenna, along with Michael Carrick, was promoted to assistant manager under Jose Mourinho, before maintaining his position when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over midway through the season. He stayed at the Theatre of Dreams until December 2021, when he accepted the challenge of managing Ipswich, who were then in League One. The thrill of consecutive promotions to the Premier League in 2023-24, coupled with being linked to the United job last year when Erik ten Hag was feeling the heat, would have boosted the young manager's confidence in football management. However, Ipswich's debut season in the English top flight has proven extremely challenging. They currently sit 18th in the Premier League, 5 points from safety with 11 games left. United managed to climb to 14th place with their narrow victory on Wednesday night, despite playing the entire second half with 10 men following Patrick Dorgu's first-half red card. The win will aid United's mission to avoid their worst-ever Premier League finish under new boss Ruben Amorim, who took over from ten Hag in November. While Amorim was up against McKenna in the dugout last night, what did McKenna's stint in the home end at Old Trafford look like from a coaching perspective? Mirror Football breaks it down. A lack of respect from players during his time at United. Sources told The Telegraph that players felt McKenna was out of his depth, lacked charisma, and behaved like a schoolteacher on the training ground and sidelines, claiming that his training sessions were more suited to the academy level he was promoted from while lacking intensity. The criticism painted McKenna as a coach who knew what he wanted to do, but was ultimately unable to communicate it effectively to his players due to his lack of experience and their lack of respect for him, as he wasn't listened to as much as he perhaps should have been. It seems, however, that the critics within the camp got it wrong about McKenna, who successfully took Ipswich from League One to the Premier League after departing the club. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our last news is Roy Keane reignites James Maddison feud with brutal response after Spurs stars dig. We saw James Maddison at Tamworth, he was taken off. Tamworth are non-league, he said. People say, Maddison's the man, but when is he going to step up to the plate? He got relegated with Leicester and, looks like, with Spurs. Maddison isn't bad, but if you think he's going to come back and get Spurs top 6, you're in cuckoo land. He's a talented player, but if you're a player in the Spurs dressing room and he's back in the squad, you wouldn't be looking and going, James is back today, we're going to be fine. Maddison ended up scoring the only goal of the game as Spurs beat United 1-0, and he celebrated with a shush celebration that was aimed at Keane. Maddison also poked fun at Keane's comments with a post on TikTok, and Keane has now responded on the Stick to Football podcast, brought to you by Sky Bet. When asked about Maddison's celebration by Gary Neville, Keane admitted he was pleased to see it, but had one very pointed comment to make. "Good on him," he said. "Absolutely no problem with it. I still go with what I said, I don't think he does enough of that. But when he scored, I was at home with my cup of tea and went, good on you. No problem, people have a go at you, you answer them back. I was hoping he'd do the same the other day, but he was a sub against Ipswich, so." After Neville, Jamie Carragher, Ian Wright and Jill Scott burst into laughter at Keane's comments. He then turned to look down the camera and mimicked Maddison's trademark darts celebration. James Maddison shushed Roy Keane after scoring in Tottenham's win over Manchester United earlier this month, and the popular pundit has now responded in typical fashion. Roy Keane couldn't resist one final dig at James Maddison after the Tottenham star hit back at criticism from the Manchester United legend. Speaking ahead of Tottenham's clash with United earlier this month, Keane was critical of Maddison. Keane then noted that Maddison did get an assist after coming off the bench against Ipswich, with Spurs winning that match 4-1 thanks to a brace from Brennan Johnson and goals from Dejan Kulusevski and Jed Spence. Maddison then captained Spurs in their 1-0 defeat to Manchester City on Wednesday, and he will be hoping to make an impact when Tottenham travel to AZ Alkmaar in the first leg of their Europa League last 16 clash next week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Man United Transfer HQ, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with the latest transfer news and rumors. One more thing, what are your thoughts on these updates? Comment below.